John Forster is on the line, the Executive Vice President of DC 37, a member of Local 357. He's in the host committee for the People's Climate March and the Labor Subcommittee, the lead organizer for DC 37 on this issue. He's a New York City public employee, a city research scientist at the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Although he is not representing them, he's speaking about he's actually been the national co-chair of the ASME Green Caucus, and in 2008 was at the UN Global Warming Conference in Poland. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us. So tell us about yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. What an event. I mean, the largest climate march ever in the history of the world. Absolutely incredible to be there, to be among all of those groups coming together, to be in the midst of labor having come together on this, and, of course, so many environmental justice, and faith organizations. I mean, it was quite an amazing event.
Wow. And what's going on today?
Well, there's of course a lot of follow-up meetings. I just was at a meeting up at 32BJ and with a lot of labor people there to talk about, okay, where do we go from here? There are some other community actions here in New York City, down on Wall Street. There was, of course, an announcement 2 days ago about some new environmental initiatives at the city level, and I think it was very important that the New York City Council and the mayor also marched with the parade and, of course, endorsed the parade as well to show we're really trying to move forward here all on the same page, and we're taking this issue very seriously, and of course, it has to be taken seriously.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on how the media has covered this?
Well, I thought generally, I mean, I can't speak for the media across the board. I mean, there's certainly, I thought the New York Times did a good job. Front page, good article, mentioned labor's participation rate at the beginning. I thought that.
Of course, it was
good.
in their hometown. I mean, but watching the networks.
Not exactly a small paper, but nevertheless, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, watching the big networks, I didn't see. Now, maybe I missed something, but Media Matters is saying the same thing. Yeah. No live coverage of what was going on yesterday. Virtually no mention of it. No mention of it on the Sunday morning shows, which this should have been front and center. These are all big networks that take millions and millions of dollars from the fossil fuel industry for advertising.
Yes.
And this morning on the so-called liberal network MSNBC, Joe Scarborough didn't even mention it. Apparently, according to the folks over at DemocraticUnderground.com. I mean, it seems to me like. We're looking at the power of faction, the power of the fossil fuel industry, to try to basically not so much silence our media as keep them from speaking. I guess the effect is the same, but.
Yeah, no, I think that's true, and I think we've seen this happen time and time again. I mean, one of the things that I think is like so positive coming off of this march is the ability to build really a huge coalitional movement, a whole new social movement, if you will, that could be akin to what we had back in the '60s with the civil rights movement, the women's movement, the anti-Vietnam movement. Those also, of course, did not get covered immediately, and I think that we cannot anticipate that everything is going to change just because we have one huge march in New York
But
City.
if this had been a Tea Party group and it had only been 3,000 people, it would have been covered by all the networks.
That's probably true. I think that there is a tendency towards not wanting to cover this, and I think part of our challenge is to go out there, to do it again, to draw attention. But I think at the same time, it also speaks to the need for us to be working locally at the city and state levels.
Right.
That's going to be critical in terms of making real change on this issue, and obviously this is something that needs action absolutely immediately.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm with you. What is DC 37?
District Council 37 represents 120,000 municipal employees here in the city of New York and 50,000 retirees. A tremendous number of our members were impacted by Sandy, of course, 2 years ago. Our headquarters was flooded out for 8 months.
Wow.
And I think that has been a real wake-up call to the unions in general, and to us in particular on that. And I think it's a good prompter for us to now be joining forces with some of these other groups that have been involved with this for a while. This really is a union issue also.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. John Forster, thank you so much for dropping by. Thanks for the great work you're doing, and thanks for the update on what's going on.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And you can get more information at dc37.net. There's a link to it over on our website at thomhartmann.com.